on screen there.
Chief, Chairman, we have Chief Bavarski there. Maybe he could explain it. He's in the
Okay.
audience.
Yeah, Chief, would you mind, which one? Okay, thank you, Mary. Okay, Chief.
Evening, Chief Ted Bravorsky from the Patrol Division of the Sheriff's Office. It was the sheriff's intention to appear tonight, but something came up last minute, so he wasn't going to be able to call in. He asked me to come down on his behalf. Just a little bit of explanation. The REACT team, it's not a new initiative. It's been in place for many years now. The time had come to just redo a MOU. So it's basically a regional SWAT team. Every department, with the exception of Clarkstown and Spring Valley, participate in the team, but it is a collaborative effort between the sheriff and the participating departments and their chiefs. So that's basically it in a nutshell. Again, it's been in place for many, many years now. And again, it's just time to redo the MOU.
Okay, thanks for the update on that. Legislators, any questions? Any questions? Okay, thank you. Okay. All in favor? All opposed? Motion carried. Referral number 2, 6704A, approving and acceptance of a continuation grant from the New York State Division of Criminal Justice Services in the amount of $103,024, no county tax dollars, for the County Reentry Task Force Offenders Reentry Program for the period of October the 1st through September 30th, 2023, and authorizing the execution of all necessary grants and documents by the county exec. Also move, second by Legislator Soskin. On the question, there you go. Now, Judge Apata, thanks.
This is a continuation of a grant that we've had for a number of years, where we use a contract with Bridges to help people getting out of jail and prison get adjusted to civilian life and give them the support that they need. So with the hope that they get on the straight and narrow and not commit any more crimes. I have just came into us a few days ago, the annual participant outcomes for the reentry task forces statewide. So I'll leave this with the clerk. It can be distributed to anyone on the legislature that wishes to look at it. It's been a successful program, and no county funds. It's all state funded. I want to extend the contract from October to next September 2023. Appropriate $100,000.
You did say this is a continuation, right? Okay, right. Okay, thank you. Any more questions? Okay. All in favor? All opposed? Motion carried, unanimous. There's a couple more, Judge. Might as well just hang out. Referral number 3, 6704D, approving an agreement of in excess of $100,000 with Elaine Monahan to provide confidential law enforcement crime analysis consultant services for the Office of the District Attorney for the period from July 1st, 2022 through September 30th, 2022, for a total amount not to exceed $9,000, and authorizing this execution by the county executive. Also move, second by Legislator Foley and Soskin. On the question,
Consultants. But really $35,000, $35,000 a year. Continuation of the contract. So appropriated
Oh, okay. It's pretty clear. Legislator Soskin, do you have a question?
Say it's confidential warrant. What does that mean?
Does,
Microphone, sir, so that they can hear you on remotely?
Yeah.
Don?
What is, in other words, what,
what's so special?
crime analyst consultant services, what is exactly?
Does confidential investigations analysis. That's different than some of the other investigative tools that, and very specialized crimes. That's why we employ her to do this. She has experience, former NYPD crime analysis analyst, approximately 5 years. Does a lot of the confidential financial statements, and intelligence, database.
This with bookkeeping or is this with, murder?
And
Commercial? All right, thank you.
Okay, any more questions? All in favor? All opposed? Motion carried, unanimous. Referral number 6704C, appropriation of forfeiture funds, no county tax dollars requested by the Office of the District Attorney to cover the costs associated with continuing consultation, expert testimony, and Assistant District Attorney training. I'll move it, second by Chairman Hood. On the question,
we have cases and expert testimony. And you certain for testimony and consultations for that case and other cases, as well as the program that we've instituted to
mhm,
the total is almost $57,000. And
okay. Okay. Thank you. Legislator Paulus, do you have a question? Oh, okay.
If you could turn up the speaker a little bit, it's coming in very, very low.
On whose?
You get
On Judge Apothecary, is your speaker?
can you hear me?
Yeah,
Yeah, now it's better.
Yep,
Sure.
okay.
it's better.
Thank you.
Oh, okay. All right, thank you. All right. All in favor? All opposed? Motion carried. Referral number 6704D, approving the intermunicipal agreement between the County of Rockland and the Village of Spring Valley Police Department to cover the costs associated with the Youth Police Initiative Program for a total contract amount not to exceed $15,000 for the period of July 1st, 2022 through June 30th, 2023, and authorizing the execution of the agreement by the county executive. Also move, second by Legislator Paul Soskin.
This is again a continuing grant that we here for 15. This initiative program. Budget on federal forfeiture money on this.
Okay, thank you, Judge Arthur. You have a question? Okay.
May I ask you, how old is the age, the youth participating in this group? The age group of this youth?
Age,
15 to 18 or 21?
yes, it varies. It's,
Age group, yeah.
right.
Also, how many youth we have every year, kind? How many youth? Oh, please, yeah. It'll be nice to know. Yeah, it'll be nice to
Group.
know.
Participating.
Yeah.
Right.
Get that.
It's a good program for the youth.
Is, yeah, that is a good program.
How far back do you want to go? How many years?
Just a few years, 3, 4 years.
That's the one that Detective Ronnie, he's involved with that. Right. He just did. Oh, he did. Oh, I know Detective Anderson retired. I didn't know. Anderson, no, yeah. I think he's involved, Anderson, a little bit, but Ronnie's the one that runs it. Okay. Okay, all in favor? All opposed? Motion carried unanimous. Thank you, Judge Arthur. Appreciate it. Last referral, number 6, 3977, approving a program in excess of 100,000 to provide funding for the American Rescue Plan funded transformational impact grant for a total grant fund not to exceed 2 million, no county tax dollars. Ms. Navarro, how you doing?
Legislator Earl, how are you today?
Good, good.
Speak into the mic.
Oh, I'm normally loud. I'm not that loud today? Okay,
Now you're.
my apologies.
Okay, you just want to shed a little light on this $2 million?
Sure. So the Transformational Impacts Program really came into play when we looked at the public health approach to community violence and community violence prevention. And one of the things that the final rule has really stressed is that ARPA money is meant to be proactive and not so much reactive and forward thinking. And one of the biggest issues that we had during the pandemic was violence, drugs, gang-related activities increased significantly. And so the Transformational Impacts Program will be a multi-pronged approach with multiple stakeholders to look at the various reasons why community violence occurs. So you'll have different types of programs that include collaboration with law enforcement, so doing gun buyback programs, YPI programs, as you just heard about, which is very successful in Spring Valley. We'd like to expand it out to different parts of the county. As well as community youth mapping. One of the biggest things they find statistically is when you give kids a voice, when you give youth the voice back, you actually can prevent crime and violence because you allow them to buy into the things that the programs that you're trying to push. You also look at STEM programs, after-school programs, different types of opportunities for youth to stay engaged after school so that they don't end up on the streets. And it really ties into our transformational rebuilding Rockland because it goes hand in hand with our urban green space grant that we currently have. We're changing the built environment. So this transformational program allows us to create civic pride and unity in the community. Didn't mean for that to rhyme. And also allow for a rebuild of the actual infrastructure of Rockland.
Okay, you're doing a great job
Thank you.
with that, Ms. Navarro. Thank you for that correction. Yeah. I'll say it one more time, I'll get it right. The gun buyback program I saw on TV, I think today or yesterday, where St. Joseph Church in Spring Valley, they're giving out, I guess,
Gift cards?
gift cards,
Mhm.
right? For,
Yeah. It's an incentive program. You know, a lot of gun buyback programs are successful, but it depends on what type of guns you're looking for, and
Mhm.
it depends on what you're trying to get off the streets. So the incentive programs were really to help with faith-based organizations going out to the community, to the people, to the boots on the ground, to get the ghost guns, to get the real guns off the streets, and to find ways to connect with that community to see why that was even an issue to begin with.
Typically, I was looking at what's the offering, what they're offering, I guess, the gift cards or whatever. Is that the norm? Because I see other towns and that are, that are doing this. Do they give gift cards or do they give more so money?
Well, money's hard to track, so gift cards are much easier because a lot of people are looking for opportunities for household items. So gift cards tends to be what people are seeking the most. So gift cards normally is how you incentivize people.
What,
And
what
then-
kind,
so-
what kind of gift cards?
Oh, so you can do it anywhere to local grocery stores. So ideally you would do it wherever you're located. So if Spring Valley doesn't have a Stop and Shop, you're not going to buy Stop and Shop gift cards. So you'll kind of keep it, really more tailored to where you are. So it could be really anything that is kind of in demand in that area. And it's an easy opportunity because there's like a ranking of guns. So depending on what kind of gun you give back, depends on how much money you get back. So it's a good way to incentivize people to maybe give back the
Yeah.
bigger, more.
Yeah, you want to
expensive.
really
Yeah.
have a really good incentive and make it easy on them because if you restrict them with the gift cards, then that'll deter them. You know what I mean? So I hope that, that you'll look at that maybe to be more enticing with,
Absolutely. Building capacity in any way, anything that will get the community to respond would be,
right.
we'd be happy to help with that.
I know you would. All right, thank you, Ms.
Question,
No.
question,
Yeah,
question.
Legislator Soskin.
After approving this 2 million, how much money is left to distribute for other items? As I understand, we had a total of 32 for year 2, we had 32,500,000.
Correct, we did, yes,
So
and
how
we
much
just
is
got
left?
that. I don't know the exact number. We've assigned all of the money in our annual report. So the comprehensive report that was distributed, all the money has been assigned. It just hasn't all been obligated yet or haven't presented it to all the assigned tasks yet.
When did you issue a report? Recently?
Yes, it was emailed to you, I think in
Well, I
June,
have
no,
no
end of
problem-
July.
I have a problem with the email. I don't get all of it. Could I get a copy of the report?
Absolutely.
An action item on that? Okay, well, Legislator Soskin.
Sure, yeah.
It's a copy of the, what will we call it?
It's the newest version of the comprehensive plan. It's the 2.0
For the American Rescue.
rescue plan. Yep.
I received mine, Legislator Soskin, so you don't get yours soon enough. I have one. Yeah, okay. All right, thank you.
But don't worry. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Okay. This concludes public safety. Most, okay. Oh, no, sorry, we didn't. Okay. All in favor? All opposed? Motion carried. Okay, motion to adjourn, moved by Legislator Soskin, second by Legislator Farley. On the question, all in favor? All opposed? We are now adjourned.
Do you know who's here?
If there are no other items in front of at least the Budget and Finance Committee, you're free to leave.
I think we have a few more minutes, don't we?
6:30.
Hmm?
6:30.
27.
7.
I don't think he's not on the committee,
No, you're not.
so maybe sit there. This is mine, so. How are you, Counselor? Here. Here, you're running for Congress. Next time around.
Not yet.
Next time around. Am I wrong or am I right? Well, John Fellows, right. Okay, I didn't see him. All right, thank you.
Yeah.
Who's Lauren? Did Lauren leave already? Did Lauren leave? Tracy McMahon. That's from the, yeah, that's true. She's from the Board of Health, right? Who is? What's her name? Janet? John? It's the one, John. Janet from the Board of Health also. John. Donna. Oh, Donna Hill. Donna Bogan. What a. John Bellis. Thank you very much. Oh, did, Lauren leave already? You tell them, Spencer, I think. Public safety. Okay. Usually ask me, but. Let's get this on my. Okay. It's 6:30 and I'd like to call the meeting of the Multi-Service Committee to order. I'll ask our clerk to take the roll.
Tatiana Paul,
Yeah.
Tatiana Wingreader, Tatiana Vincent Tower. Tatiana McGowan. Elise Tatiana Baskin.
Here,
We have four.
thank you very much. We'll start with the adoption of the minutes of the July 26, 22 meeting. Moved by Legislator Paul, seconded by Legislator Earl. Any corrections? Any additions? How about those viewing it on the screen? Hearing nothing, we'll take a vote. All in favor? Anybody opposed? Unanimous. I guess I really should read this. Referral 8894, approving an amendment to the agreement in excess of $100,000 with NYSARC Incorporated, Rockland County Chapter, doing business as Prime Time for Kids to provide special education services in the preschool program in the additional amount of $500,000 for a new total amount not to exceed $2,825,000 for the period from the commencement date of July 21 through June 30th, 22. So moved. Already moved. We moved it, didn't we? Okay, moved by legislator Weider, seconded by legislator Paul. Any discussion? For or against it? Therefore, we'll take a vote. All in favor? Anybody opposed? Unanimous. Referral number 9340, acceptance of a continuation grant in the amount of $1,375,000 for the period from April 1/22 through March 31, 27, with a local share of $35,000 from the New York State Department of Health to the Rockland County Department of Health. Moved by legislator Tyre. See here? Yeah. Legislator Tyre, and seconded by Chairman Hood. The question, who's here from the Health Department?
Hi, it's Tracy McMahon. How are you?
Okay, Tracy, hi. Could you just speak into the mic? Tell us a little bit about this.
Sure. This is a continuation grant. It's a new 5-year award for our Healthy Neighborhoods program. As you know, the Healthy Neighborhoods program provides outreach and education to our community. One of the big parts of the program is actually installing smoke alarms and carbon monoxide detectors for individuals in our community. Just to give you some statistics, during the last calendar year, 2021, there were 781 smoke alarms installed in Rockland County for residents, and 116 carbon monoxide detectors were installed. Our staff focus on individuals who have disabilities. They assist senior citizens and those who are at or below the poverty level.
What was the income level?
I don't know what the specific income level is for this year. I could certainly take a look.
I see, but there's a.
We don't look at income, but we do serve those who are lower income.
I see. Okay, anybody else have any questions? Hearing none, all in favor? Anybody opposed? You have a question? All in favor? Okay, unanimous. See, that covers the Board of Health, I believe. Thank you for coming down. Referral number 8037. There's somebody here from the Department of Social Services. I believe it's John Fellows.
Yes, it is.
Right,
John Fella from the Department of Social Services.
right. Welcome.
Good to be back.
Right.
Per person.
Referral number 8037, approving the acceptance of a grant from the New York State Office of Temporary and Disability Assistance to the Department of Social Services for the New York State Rental Supplement Program in the amount of $713,032 no county tax dollars for the period from November 30, 21 through December 31, 22. I'll move it, seconded by legislator McGowan. Tell us a little bit about this. The big question is, do you have enough money?
We always need some more money, but this is a result of the state budget that allocated additional money for the emergency rental REIR program. And there's no charge to the county of Rockland. It's over $700,000 that could be used to help pay for rent arrears for all Rockland residents, including those who are not documented. Again, it will prevent homelessness.
How many families does this help?
Right now, we haven't, there's been previous allocations, done, but we've had a substantial amount. We haven't exactly figured out how many have been there. I'm hearing that in the number 400, but as time goes on, we'll have the exact figures as to how many families and individuals we've helped with this program.
If any money is left over, could it be carried over to the following year?
This limit is limited to the December, to the end of December 2022. So
I see.
we do
Anybody-
anticipate that we'll be able to expend all this money.
Anybody have any questions? Hearing none, all in favor? Anybody opposed? Unanimous.
Thank you.
We have one more for your department. Referral number 8983, approving an intermunicipal agreement between the County of Rockland on behalf of the Department of Social Services and the Board of Cooperative Educational Services, BOCES, for reimbursement of fees and costs associated with multi-systematic therapy training and support for RCDSS Children's Services staff in an amount not to exceed $52,750, no county tax dollars for the period from September 30th, 22 through September 29th, 23. I'll move this, seconded by Legislator Earl. Well, just tell us a little bit about this program.
Okay, yes, this is an inter-municipality agreement with Cooperative Extension, who received money from the federal government. This is providing funds to help train DSS staff to provide intense community-based in the community to help families and children who may be at risk of committing crimes or being involved in placement. It is an evidence-based practice of one that has shown if certain things are followed, it will work. It will help children stay out of trouble, working with the family in the community.
What do you have, groups?
Sometimes there's groups, there's a specific training, and we have special workers who are trained in this area to use various interventions. Sometimes it may be a group, sometimes it may be an individual.
What age level do you deal with?
It's up to the age of 18, and in certain cases may go up to age 20, 21. It's part of raise the age, so young children will not get into serious trouble, and parents will be able to address their issues and concerns before there is some serious incidents.
These are people who are on welfare or getting assistance.
These are available to people who are having any sort of trouble with children. It's not based on income. It's based on need. If someone is having problems with children and there's referral process, and this is a service that type of therapy that may be helpful, it will be done by our workers.
You work in conjunction with mental health on this?
It's yes, there's close a combination, but particularly in regard to the Board of Cooperative Extension, who would provide the specific training. There's an overlap, but this is a specific area for funding for this type of training and intervention families.
Is this with by individuals, or is this with groups?
It could be either or. It could have groups. It could be done individually. Sometimes a group is used to help support the person. Other times it's better that they be one-on-one, particularly if it involves a parent of the child.
Thank you very much. Anybody else have any questions? Hearing none, all in favor? Anybody opposed? Unanimous.
Thank you so very much.
Thank you for coming down, John. Okay, the last one is referral number 3657, approving an agreement in excess of $100,000 in the total amount not to exceed $850,000 with Meals on Wheels programs and services of Rockland County Incorporated under an RFP RC 2022003 to provide home delivered meals to eligible seniors in the county for the Rockland County Office of Aging for the term from July 1, 22 through June 30th, 22, with 4 one-year renewal option terms and authorizing its execution by the county executive. I'll move it, seconded by, Okay, legislative tire. Want to tell us about this? It's a lot of years.
Yeah, this is our contract that we've had for many years with Meals on Wheels to provide home delivered meals for senior citizens throughout Rockland County. Historically, it's been done through a sole source process. But early this year, when we conducted the sole source process, 3 or 4 other organizations stated they were interested in providing these services. So therefore, then we had to go through a RFP process, a request for proposal process, which we did. We received 5 proposals from different organizations. Meals on Wheels was evaluated and deemed the best organization to provide the meals to the seniors in Rockland County. Very intense review process. They had to, each company, many of them were outside Rockland County, had to provide meals delivered for testing purposes at the required temperatures that New York State Office of the Aging requires. They have to be delivered at a certain temperature. And only two of the organizations out of the 5 could comply with that. So it was really down to 2 organizations, Meals on Wheels and one other. And Meals on Wheels was less expensive than the other firm.
Are these new vendors that we're
Excuse me?
going, the people who applied?
No, this is the existing program. This is for the existing program that we've provided for years.
And because I remember we used to have somebody providing cold meals, and then other ones were providing hot meals on a
Yes,
daily
this is hot meals, and depending upon the client, they may receive a cold meal as well. It depends upon the client and what they qualify for.
I see. Are any of these meal deliveries kosher food?
We have a separate contract for home delivered kosher meals. That's a separate contract, and that went out to RFP also this year, and that's just being evaluated as well. We should probably be down here in the next couple of meetings with that contract.
I see. Okay, thank you very much. Anybody have any questions? On the screen? Hearing none, all in favor? Anybody opposed? Unanimous. Thank you for coming down, Paul. Anybody on the committee have anything they'd like to say? Anybody on the screen? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn. Moved by legislator Earl, seconded by legislator Weeder. The meeting is adjourned. Oh, does everybody want to sponsor all of the items? Yes.
Okay, is that her number, 8454? Okay, all right, thank you, John. Okay, Ms. Razapowski. Lucy,
How are you, young fella?
okay.
We a lot again? Every week.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Economic Development. Les, please call the roll.
Be careful, there are crazies out there.
Saturday, Marco French. Saturday, Nicole. Adam Wolf. Here. McGowan. Saturday, Foley. Saturday, Tonino.
Present. Okay, thank you, Les. Adoption of our minutes of July 26, 2022, moved by legislator Paul, second by legislator Foley. On the correction of the minutes, there are none. All in favor, all opposed, minutes approved. Referral number 1, number 5726, redesignating the Rockland County Executive Office as a tourism promotion agency for the County of Rockland, fiscal year 2022 through 2023. I'll move it, second by legislator McGowan. Any other? Okay. On the question, we have, Mrs. Lucy Rezapowski on the line. I think I see your name there.
Yes,
How are
I
you?
am on the line. I'm good,
Okay.
thank you. Hello, everyone.
Good. I know you're still on vacation, so thanks for chiming in. Uh, um, Lucy, you want to just shed a little light on this for us?
Absolutely. So this is a yearly grant, the New York State I Love New York Matching Funds Program. So the county has to match the amount of dollars that they award the county. And every year, in order for us to be able to receive those funds, the state requires that each municipality assign a tourism office as the recipient of those dollars. So we cannot accept the dollars unless we are designated as the tourism office for the county.
Okay, thank you. Legislators, questions? Okay. All in favor? All opposed? Carried unanimous. Thank you, Lucy. Take care and have a safe trip.
My pleasure. Thank you so much. Bye-bye,
All
everyone.
right, you're welcome. All right. Motion to adjourn, moved by legislator McGowan, second by legislator Wolf. All in favor? All opposed? We're now adjourned.
Environmental, Annie? Leslie? What committee is this, environment?
Economic development.
This was economic development?
Yes.
Oscar, you have an open mic.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to tonight's meeting of the Planning and Public Works Committee. Will the clerk please call the roll? His name is here. That's good.
Legislator Wolf.
I'm here.
Here. I'm here. Okay, thank you. We're going to adopt the minutes of 6:28 and 7:26. Move the legislator Carey, second by legislator Jobson. Any changes, corrections, deletions, insertions? Seeing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Opposed, say nay. Carried unanimously. We're going to move everything together. There is a bond on this as well, but we do not have to roll call. So we're going to move everything together. Does anybody have any questions at all on any of the items? Anybody from the committee? Anybody who's not on the committee have any questions? Yes, the entire agenda. We're moving it all. I'm sorry? Yes. Okay, so hearing none, I just want to point out that a couple of things. First of all, the 1-11 is, we're granting to the second lowest bidder. Apparently, the lowest bidder wasn't able to comply with our insurance requirements and also the affidavit that they have to put in, that they, disclosure of campaign contributions and whatnot. So they did not do those two things. That's why we're going with the second lowest bidder, in case anybody had a question about that. In addition, I think it's which one was the settlement? Oh, yeah, 1-15 is a settlement, is a net settlement of about just under $3.8 million on a multi-year, I think it's over a 6-year litigation, where they couldn't complete the project. I do not know why exactly we are settling the case. I assume that the county executive recommends it. That would be something that we'd have to go into executive session to discuss. I do know that the original suit was for $19 million and we're settling for about $3.9 million after about 6 years of litigation. Since I believe in full employment for lawyers, 6-year litigation sounds good, but as a legislator, I'm not particularly happy about it. But I guess that's the way the cookie crumbles on this one and then goes down the sewer pipes.
Why do we owe that money? They were blowing things up.
Nicole, go ahead.
I just want to point out we're talking about 1-15
Yes.
on the PPW agenda. Right, okay, so I gave everyone some backup charts. And if, they kind of go in agenda order. And 1-15 is a chart, which is a draft of what the financial statement should look like for the sewer fund. This is what my projection is. Again, it's a draft, but that they're going to end 2021 with a unassigned fund balance of $28.5 million. So that's where that money's coming from. I can't answer as to, the settlement and why, but at least the money is
At
available.
least we can afford it. Right, thank you very much for that,
Okay.
Nicole. The fund balance in the sewer district appears to be extremely healthy, so that's good. At least we can afford to.
This is just the sewer fund.
Right, I know. Yeah. And that's a significant amount of money for just the sewer fund. It's all, what do we, we don't know exactly how much our main fund balance is, do we? Like our reserve?
I have a projection, but again, it's a draft.
Right. But this appears to be very healthy for just one part of. Okay, those are the two items that I was curious about, so I asked some questions on that. Does anybody have any other questions? All right, I'll move it, seconded by legislator Carey. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Opposed, say nay. All right, we'll adjourn in 9 minutes, so I'm, taking up a little bit of budget and finance stuff. Or I guess, well, I'm just kidding. Adjournment by legislator Jobson, seconded by legislator Grant. All those in favor, I'm sorry? Legislator Grant. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Opposed, say nay. Carried unanimously. We are adjourned. Thank you very much, everybody. Yes, Paul. How much? Oh, the lowest bidder was lower only by $7,000, so it wasn't that big a deal. Thank you very much, Paul. Appreciate that number.
Very good. Okay. Oh, yeah, no, that I can't answer, but I could at least tell you that the money's there. I can't give you the whys, I can give you just how much. But this is what's really interesting is that these are the, projects that are
Mhm.
on here. And, so I've just been keeping track, just for this year alone, everything that you bonded, meaning giving them permission to borrow. So it's up to 65 million. They're not gonna borrow all of this.
It's a shame.
But they can, whatever. But what's very telling to me is including these four advancements which are on tonight, which total 4.2 million, you're up to $25 million advancement from the general fund,
Yeah.
which is okay. But if you do, you definitely have it. But when you want to advance money because you want to do something like get rid of residential energy tax, you're telling, oh, no, no, no. There's a downturn in the economy. We could be,
That's of course, fight.
okay, well, I just want to go, right. I just want to make sure you guys have the ammunition, should you want to use it. I can't tell you what to do. I could just,
I know, I'm saying it's fault.
You should get it some. Terribly.
They're to put some positions in the budget.
okay.
Way this is going, we're probably gonna have a bigger surplus than the deficit.
Why should we complain?
We had, how big was our deficit? Yeah. So we're going to a surplus.
Already passed it.
Double the amount of deficit.
You know, we're gonna carry him out of that seat.
But that's great.
Say whatever they want. Of course. Can't pass the committee, they can't pass it here, it's not, it's. Get ready to vote once.
I'm so tired, that's why I'm so tired of hearing about it.
Ignore it.
Doesn't the second one expand?
Years since the nineties.
Way before me.
Five, what's back?
Hypocrisy knows no bounds.
A couple more minutes. Oh, well, maybe other items, because there's some other things, so maybe.
Maybe it's self-serving. Maybe it's self-serving. I think they should be the voter's choice.
I'll let you know that PPW is already ended.
This is the public inspection security.
Yeah. Well, the president's different. That's so powerful. County executive is so powerful. It's more powerful than we are, really, you know.
There's no question.
Why
The
they,
only place you can do it. Unless, yeah.
no, I'm just kidding.
Oh,
Stop in office.
a lot of people are away on
Maybe in terms of make sure the,
salaries. A lot of people are on vacation, that's why.
you will come back and go into.
Yeah, the guys want,
Oh,
the
good.
public wants you back.
Away, and I.
President of the United States now.
Was it?
No, that they.
I emailed everything to everybody and yeah.
Didn't want FDR to have another term.
Sorry, I was so busy, I didn't get a chance to look.
Sheriff,
Yes, I'm here.
the Planning and Public Works Committee is already adjourned, so the items I believe that you came on was already voted on.
Doesn't it still come to your committee at this point?
Oh, yeah, it does, but if it was already voted on in other committees, I'm inclined not to keep people waiting around.
Okay,
So-
thank you very much.
And the discussion item we talked about, we're going to postpone for the next committee meeting?
Yes, and you and I will have a discussion prior to that meeting.
Right. Okay,
Very
thank
much.
you. Okay. Thanks.
Yeah, so much. Yeah. $7:15, Simon?
Tuesday, August 30th, 2022, 7:15 PM. I would like to call the Budget and Finance Committee to order, and I'll ask the clerk to do the roll call, please.
Steen? Sure. Soskin?
Here.
Legislator Earl? Legislator Cornell?
Here.
Second Vice Chair Legislator Wolf?
Here.
Vice Chair Legislator Grant? Chairman Weider?
Well, we have a full committee meeting. I'm here. Thank you. Okay, so we'll go a little bit out of order since people are here. And we would like to have them attend the items and then be able to leave. So first, anyone that is here for any other items other than the discussion item on vacancies and the addendum is free to leave. And we thank you for being here and patiently attending these meetings. So the first thing we're going to do is the addendum. Everyone has the addendum item, it just came in. There's a little bit of a time issue with it, and we're going to have the representative of the county executive, John Line, to speak to it. So I'll ask, first we'll do the adoption of minutes of 6/28 and 7/26, 2022. moved by legislator Grant, seconded by, second Vice Chair, Wolf. Any discussion? Seeing there is none, I'll call the motion. All those in favor say aye. Opposed, the motion carries unanimously. Then we'll go to item number 7.5, which is the addendum item. Referral number 5614, rescinding resolution number 429 of 2018 and accepting the new offer and authorizing the sale of tax delinquent county-owned properties to the Village of Haverstraw property ID numbers H2737135 and H2737136, 7 and 9 McKinsey Drive, Town of Haverstraw. Moved by legislator Hood, chaired legislator Hood, seconded by legislator Yeager. On the discussion, first, we have Mr. Line from the County Exec's Office in place of Steve Powers.
Yes, thank you, Legislator Reed. And thank you to the committee for taking this item at short notice. There's broad-based community support for this, and there is a time constraint with moving it forward. So it was very critical that the committee take up this item tonight and move it forward so it can appear before the full legislature next week. So I thank all of you for your willingness to do that.
Can you just elaborate a little bit on the time constraint? Why that is?
Sure. This item has been on sort of on the table for a number of years. It had originally moved forward, I believe, in 2018. And there were some issues that brought it, so it was not resolved at that point in time. And there is now the ability of the village to move forward with this and would like to accomplish it as quickly as possible after being on the back burner for so long.
Okay. Mr. Matthews, can you just very briefly elaborate on the price difference and how this came about and where we are right now? We have the virtual thing.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This piece of these two pieces of property, we were engaged with the Village of Haverstraw back in 2018, and the legislature had passed a resolution to sell these two pieces to the village. And at that time, when we went to close with the village, there was a couple of issues that were sticking points. So basically, we put it on hold, and the village reapproached us recently and asked if we could reengage this opportunity for them. And we had not sold these at auction. They had not come up at auction. They're two pieces of property down, kind of sitting alone by themselves near the river. I would say they're almost army barracks type places, and we have no use for them, and the village does, and therefore we figured we'd engage back with the village, and we did, and then we had to come up with new prices because each year we had to add the taxes for the county. Even the county pays sewer and solid waste, so we have to add that every year. We don't pay the school and whatever, but so that's the difference you're seeing. You're seeing the added amounts 18, 19, 20, 22 that the county would have paid had we owned it. So that's the difference in the amount.
Okay, good. Any questions? There is none. I'll call the motion. All those in favor say aye. Opposed, the motion carries unanimously. Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Matthews. Sean, I think we have, well, we have one more item for you, so we'll take that up now, okay? Which is on the agenda. It's not a special, it's not the addendum. It's on the original, agenda. So please turn your attentions to item number 7.2, referral number 5614, acceptance of bids on parcels sold at public auction on July 28, 2022, listed on the attached Schedule A, moved by Legislator Earl, seconded by Legislator Hofstein. On the discussions, again, Mr. Matthews, can you just briefly tell us, I know this has been a long time, COVID, there were lots of issues, a lot of Ts needed to be crossed, a lot of Is needed to be dotted, but we are there. So just briefly tell us about this.
Well, briefly, I will say that I need to take record and thank my coworker, Tom Dillon, who ran the auction and did the property processes through COVID. So it was, he's the one who dotted the i's and crossed the t's and whatever else you wanted to call it. And to the, the girls in our office too. So they're the ones who all handle it. So it wasn't me, but so we're thankful to them. We had a good auction. Everything was as planned, and there were no issues or incidents. And pretty much we sold close to, I think, what was the number, Tom? About close to 2 million, yeah. That we were going to bring into the county, obviously, for the general fund. And we still have property left over that that we'll take to the next auction. Hopefully, it'll be coming up maybe this fall, if not certainly the beginning of next year. And we'll include those properties that were left over on that, and then we'll then continue to just try to work with people to stay in their homes, number one, but number two, if they have to, if they're abandoned land or property, whatever, we will continue to move forward and work with the residents and also work within the law to continue this process.
I know there was an issue with one item, with one parcel. That's not included in it, is it?
I believe that was resolved. Yeah, that was resolved today.
Oh, really?
Yes, it was. So that issue of use, which I believe it was a large number, an amount.
Right.
Yeah, that large amount, it was the largest amount on the auction. That was taking place, that was received today, and we're good with that.
The taxes were paid, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, good. Okay. Any questions? Seeing there is none, I'll call the motion. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Oppose? The motion carries unanimously. So the next auction will be when, you said?
We don't know yet, but we'll figure it out. Maybe.
When?
We don't know. We do not know. We don't.
2023?
We do not know.
Oh, okay.
No.
Got it.
All right.
Okay. So you're free to go, Mr. Matthews. Thank you very much. I think that concludes all the items that you was supposed to attend in the meeting. So the next one we'll call up is the discussion item, which is on the agenda. I'll ask Nicole. Yes. It will be 7-4, which is a discussion item. Review salary savings, July 29 vacancy reports, planning inclusion proposes, well. Thank you. What about John? Oh.
Okay.
Nicole?
Okay, so legislators get a report from me, which is a estimate of salary savings based on vacancy reports that we receive from the Department of Personnel. And these reports come out a week
Thank you.
after the
John,
payroll. You need another one? Oh, okay, so the last time that I sent out this report and this discussion item was called for was back in July. So today, I went through and I checked every single vacancy that was on that report in July to find if any of them had been filled. About 9 of them were filled. And I found a couple of new vacancies so that what you have in front of you is the vacancies as of today. I just want to point out that this changes all the time because vacancies are filled at any point. I only know they become filled when I either get the report or if I look up a specific line and I see that a position has been filled. So to the best of my ability, these are the current vacancies. And you see that as of today, we have approximately 212 vacant positions. What this report also does is also tracks when positions are filled, how much savings we can expect based on when the position is filled, so at what point in the year, and also what their new salary is. Oftentimes, when positions are filled, they replace people who are at a higher salary, and they come in, let's say, at the beginning of the band or at the beginning of the grade, as opposed to someone who's been here, let's say, for 10 or 15 or 20 years, and they're going to be at the top of the band. So we achieve savings in a number of ways. We achieve savings because a position, let's say, is vacant for an entire year. So we can expect to save the entire salary that's budgeted for that position. Or we save money because the position is filled halfway into the year. So we only have to pay 6 months of someone's salary as opposed to 12. But we also achieve savings, as I said earlier, because people who come in theoretically are going to come in at a lower salary than people who have been here for a long period of time. So what this long chart attempts to do is to capture what we call attrition savings or salary savings. So right now, what we're looking at, if we look at the entire county, and if you look at page 12, is roughly $14.5 million in salary savings. All right, so years ago, when the budgets were being put together, salary savings were budgeted into the budget, meaning you would look at a particular department, and if you added up all the salaries, let's say it was $5 million, they would show a negative $500,000, right, in what they would call salary savings. They don't know which positions are going to be vacant during the year. The budget office would make a guesstimate as to how much they would expect to save during the course of a year. In the last couple of years, when we've received the budgets, we haven't seen salary savings in the budget, with the exception of in the Department of Social Services. For the most part, they no longer budget what's called salary savings. They no longer put a anticipation of what we could be saving, all right? But if we look at where we are in 2022, with over 200 vacant positions, we can expect that our expense for salaries is going to have a substantial amount of savings. So even if we took right now 14 and change in salaries, even if we were to cut it in half, we would still have about $7 million worth of savings on the salary lines, meaning that when we finish the year, those savings will fall to the bottom or will become part of what we call the fund balance. Is that clear? I hope that's clear. I know it's a little complicated and it gets to be a little hairy, but that's what this chart attempts to do. And I try to keep you all up to date on where we are in terms of salary savings throughout the year.
Mr. Chairman? I just want to thank Nicole for the analysis that she provides us on a very regular basis. I find it to be helpful in understanding what the turnover rates are, where they're happening in county government.
My chief concern tonight is that we're 1 month away from the budget being unveiled. As Nicole mentioned previously, last year, no salary savings were accounted for in the county executive's proposed budget at all. We amended that to $1.5 million, and there was considerable pushback along the way. I think Nicole's analysis is fairly conservative. If you had a $7.4 million salary savings for the year, that's 5.5% of our property tax levy. I get concerned about overtaxation of our residents. We even received some pushback on trying to mitigate the energy sales tax earlier this year. And it just seems that we have a very substantial surplus. And it bothers me that we're not ready to make changes to the way we do business to account for some of these things. And first and foremost, I want to know from the county executive's office and the budget department whether or not at this stage of the game they're contemplating the imputation of a salary savings number in the upcoming budget. And that's my first question. So Steve or John, whoever wants to answer it, I'd appreciate a response. If they have a complete answer, we don't need an action item.
I think I have an answer. I'm not too sure you're going to like it. We disagree wholeheartedly with your, with the particular not format, but the analysis in terms of everyone always looks just at one account for salaries. There are multiple other accounts such as overtime, relief, temporary, and COVID pay. We have always looked at salaries in a global sense, not just one account called salaries. So we're close to your number, but not as close as you believe. And that's okay.
Actually, if I can interrupt you for just
Yeah.
one moment. So here's the thing, this is just on the salary line,
And
but I will tell you in terms of overtime, with the exception of DGS, which has kind of gone over their budget in terms of overtime, the sheriff's department has been well under. So we have, in addition to this money, the salary savings on the salary line, there's also surpluses in overtime. You want to talk about the other salaries, like Social Security? Well, if the position isn't filled, then you're not paying the person Social Security. If the position is not filled, and you're not paying their retirement bill. If the position is not filled, you're not paying, workers' comp and all those other things. Yes, in some cases, you are using relief personnel to supplement some of these vacant positions. But again, what I'm seeing when I look at the overall picture of the payroll, and I didn't want to roll that out tonight as well because I just thought it was a little bit too much information, but I'm showing like surpluses in the other areas as well. So I have to beg to differ with you when you start to say that you disagree with this whole analysis. This is just on the salary lines. I agree with you in the sense that, yes, it doesn't show the entire payroll, but if we were to put in the other payroll pieces, it would be even bigger.
I don't mean to be negative, but that's not correct. If you look at our salary projection, okay, I've given Nicole a copy. She could distribute it amongst the board. We have issues, not terrible issues, but we have other issues, okay, with overtime and COVID pay. Yes, the sheriff is doing exceptionally well, and I agree general services might have some particular issues because of maintenance. The buildings are unfortunately old and they need to be maintained. So they are using overtime. Problem is also, you do not pay, when we get a retirement bill, it's not specific based on this year, it's based on the prior year. Workers' comp is a flat bill that we have to pay, whether it's based not on the individual, it's based on the number of cases. So when we have a savings, it's based on Social Security and MTA. But unfortunately, our analysis is showing that with the other accounts, we are doing well. We're just not doing as well as your particular report displays. We're showing an overall savings countywide on the report on the last page, but it includes the sewer, workers' comp, general services, and the general fund. Overall, we're around $10 million, $11 million, whatever the number should be. No, but you took it in half, which was fine. I believe you said 14 was your number on your report.
And my comments were,
I believe you said 14. If you didn't, I
er,
take it.
er, er,
Okay. Yes. Fine. Okay, fine. But for salary,
my comments also included the one report I was looking at was $7.4 million. So we're trying to be conservative about it, but if we filled every single vacancy tomorrow, two-thirds of that number is good.
fine.
The
Whatever.
two-thirds, and my point of having the discussion tonight is, again, we're 1 month out from the budget being unveiled. In recent years, county executive's proposed budget has ignored salary savings. I don't want to be in a position where we're fighting over those. Identify them and we'll track them, just as you identify overtime and we track that and determine whether or not that was an appropriate number for the current year and whether or not it's something that informs us for adopting a budget next year. But if nothing else, tonight's discussion, I'm putting the administration on notice that this is an issue. It's a significant issue. It's equivalent to plus or minus 5% of the property tax levy. It needs to be accounted for in the proposal that we receive or expect us to amend it. And I think I would hope that all of my colleagues on the legislature would share that concern about just how significant this number has been in recent years and why it's contributed to, or how it's contributed to a very substantial surplus that we have right now. I'd like to add, Mr. Chairman, that, that's pretty much all I needed for the discussion item on salary savings, but I'd like to add a couple of other things.
Chairman, if I may, did you want me to answer your original question?
Whether or not it's going to be
Yeah.
included, go ahead.
Okay, let's start off with that. There has been salary savings in every budget for the past, since I've been here, which is close to 30 years. Last year, meaning this year, 2002 proposed budget included zero. The reason it includes zero, except for your amendment, which put in $1.5 million for social services. It is, in blatant terms, a budgetary gimmick. If you wish to abolish positions, that's up to you. And of course, the county executive in his proposed budget. Salary savings is, like anything else, it's an estimate, but it hamstrings personnel, the department, and the county executive in trying to appropriately fill positions on a timely manner and at the appropriate salary.
Would you be more hamstrung if we abolished positions that were left vacant for extended periods of time? In the past, I think we've extended that courtesy to the administration that we don't abolish positions too quickly, too readily, because there's extended vacancies. I want there to be transparency in budgeting. That's my message to the administration tonight. I wanted to give you ample time to consider it. Certainly, it's up to you to call it a gimmick or what it is. It turns out to be real money at the bottom line at the end of the year. And I think it's appropriate that you know that I take that seriously and expect if there's no accounting for salary savings in the proposed budget, I'm prepared to propose it when it comes based on the analysis that our consultants give us.
That's fair enough.
My issue on a related matter is that it's already the end of August and we still don't have the audited financial statements for 2021. Can you tell me what on the administration's end is keeping this from being completed?
That's a very complex question, but I'll be happy to answer it and try to answer it. Problem has been probably 2 to 3-fold. One, the finance department is immensely short-staffed. We have one accountant for the entire county to reconcile all the books for every department to get the audit done. That's one. Number two, we put in for a resolution to establish two accountant ones early in the summer, back in June and July. So far, we've had no people who are looking to work in our department or accept those, and they're on Nicole's list. Also, we've been working with the auditors round the clock, trying to get the accounts reconciled so that they can come in. They've done some preliminary work. It looks like, knock on wood, by October. But that's the best answer I can give you right now.
In response to that, I would say that if you're short-staffed, those issues need to be addressed preferably at the time of the budget. But if they occur after the budget's been adopted and are creating pressing issues for any department in county government, then they should be brought to our attention. And in the past, my recollection is that this legislature has graciously taken those resolutions and generally given the county executive whatever he needed to accomplish the work. I don't think we've denied too many.
I appreciate the establishment of those two
So
positions.
the timely presentation of an audit is extremely important to this legislature because that's our responsibility to audit and appropriate funds for the county. We're going to be in just over a month, we're going to be asked to take the county executive's proposed budget, and we still don't have an audit of the operations of the previous year, which makes our work difficult, makes our consultants' work difficult, makes our financial analysts' work difficult. I'm very concerned about why it's taken so long. And I'm not so sure how we got a bond upgrade when we can't produce an audited financial statement. How does that happen? 6 months after the books are supposed to be closed.
If I may. Also should touch base with Mark's Panis. They are also facing massive staff shortage on their end as well. So we are trying to work with them as closely as possible. I'm assuming your office has touched base with Mark's Panis and gotten their feedback and input regarding their particular issues and problems. It's not solely on us, Mr. Chairman.
Nicole, do you have any comments on that?
I have been speaking and emailing with Warren Ruppel on a regular basis. I actually submitted my projected fund balance analysis back in May. Again, unaudited, draft, because I understood you were still doing journal entries. We've been in contact throughout this entire process. Not once has he ever said to me that they're short-staffed. What he has said to me is that they're still waiting for some paperwork from the finance department, including the balance sheet.
Journal entries.
And he was, and I asked him specifically about journal entries. I said, why are they still doing journal entries in June and July? He
It's
really,
not just as black and white as everybody thinks, where it just close some expenses and revenues. We've got to reconcile all the entries from top to bottom for every county entry, folks, which affects every balance sheet. It's not just the general fund. There are funds in the financial statement that you probably don't even know or recognize or even care to know. But they all need to be done, and they all need to be done accurately. Claims, state aid claims, federal aid claims. If you think our departments do that, you're sorely mistaken. Our department has to reconcile every one of them because
I absolutely appreciate the complexity of the tasks that you're required to perform, but the timeliness of it is also extremely important.
and I don't disagree with that.
So
Thank you.
we'll, if I may, we're working on the schedule for the next, for the budget review. We're going to finalize the schedule, okay? And we're going to start in October. So what I'm hearing of you is by October, beginning, mid to end.
Hoping. That's the goal. That's the goal.
The goal is by October to get it?
Yes. No, for us to make sure that they have everything submitted. I don't know how long it takes them. Remember now, they don't put together, folks, that financial statement. My staff does. Okay? They do very little when it comes to preparing the financial statements. We spoon feed them every item for that report. Okay, and that's also a burdensome. It's not a
The bottom
financial,
line is by October, you're gonna have to
Um,
be submitting everything for them.
from your lips to their ears.
No, it's gotta be your lip.
Well, I can only push so much for them to do their part. I can give them the information. They have to now prepare the book.
Have you given them all the information?
Not all of it. We're giving it
By
to them.
By October, you're gonna have all the information given to them.
We're hoping sooner.
Sooner.
I'm hoping sooner.
I'm hoping sooner too.
Yes, I
Okay,
agree.
Legislator Yeager.
Just a quick question, and I always say this, but I'm going to say it again. I became a lawyer, so I wouldn't have to do math. So thank you guys who are crunching the numbers, so I don't have to. Am I to understand that there are a couple of accountant positions that are open that we can't fill? Or
If you-
they haven't been established yet?
No, it's.
They have been established. 2 new accountant 1 positions have been established. We are canvassing those positions. As Nicole's list voluminously shows and displays, there are severe problems, not just in my department, throughout the county in terms of finding quality candidates to fill those positions, whether based on the individual, the salary, or both.
Is there a list somewhere of positions that, well, let me start again. My understanding is that there are at least some positions, and I don't know how many or which, that are vacant because the county executive or the executive, I guess at the county executive's direction are not being filled when they're vacant. Or am I wrong about that? Or
You
are
are
we?
absolutely
at-
wrong. No.
So,
You're-
wait, let me finish.
Sure.
So we are actively trying to fill all the vacancies that are in this list as being vacant?
Let me put it this way. The department head is responsible for his or her department. They need to review the activities of, and the programs, the responsibilities and the functions of their respective department. If they feel a particular position is not needed or they're canvassing, they will submit the vacancy release once they get a handle on the efficiencies or issues that are facing his or her department.
Okay.
Once that, the county executive is not sitting or holding a particular position because he feels that it's not needed. It's up to the department head to manage their shop and get that vacancy release submitted.
Okay, so you're actively looking for these accountants to help you out?
Our office has been canvassing and we've had.
Okay, when you say canvassing, can you explain what that means?
Sure.
please?
So, for example, we have those accountant ones. What we'll do is we'll get the list from the Department of Personnel. There could be, and remember, these are exams that you need to.
Okay, so they need to be union
Of
people?
course, our particular ones are CSEA positions. Personnel has a list of candidates.
Okay, I'm sorry, I didn't realize that accountants were considered union people. I
Oh,
thought they were like lawyers. Lawyers are not unionized.
No,
They're not allowed to be. Aha,
So
so they're
personnel-
union position.
Correct. So personnel gives us a list of, for example, say there's a dozen people on the list. They passed the exam. Here they are from the high score to the low score,
What exam do they have to take?
civil service exam.
Okay, so there's a civil service exam for accountants.
Yes.
Just being a CPA is not enough.
No. You don't have to be a CPA. There's minimum qualifications.
Ah,
for
okay.
Every position in county government.
Aha,
Okay, you might need an associate's degree, you might need a bachelor's degree, so many years of education, work experience, things of that nature.
I understand
So
now.
we'll get the filtered list. And out of that filtered list, we have to write to each person and ask them if they want the position.
I understand now.
And
Okay. All right, thank
it
you
all
very much.
Depends on the individual.
I appreciate it, thanks.
Legislator Hood, you still want to? Okay. Okay, so,
Can I ask one question?
Legislator Soskin.
Are these bookkeeping positions really? Or accounting positions?
Accounting positions, Mr.
We
Sossi.
call them accounting positions.
They're accountant 1 positions. There's counted 1, 2, 3, and 4. This is the lowest level of accountant.
I see. Is it, effectively, isn't it, bookkeeper's job to reconcile
No,
this stuff?
no, it would be almost one step above that. Because they would have to have municipal experience.
Well, if you had an experienced bookkeeper, would she be able to, or he?
They would have had to have taken the civil service exam, and they, personnel has a qualified list. I can't use anything other than what they've given me.
Okay, thank you.
But that's affecting all county departments. You can see the list that you have in front of you from Nicole.
Mr. Chairman, if you would indulge me, one more question.
Even more than that. It's very informative. Legislative Grant.
I just had one more question that's kind of budget related. In the previous budget, the budget we're working under now, the 2022 budget, the legislature eliminated the motor vehicle tax.
Yes.
That was supposed to happen sometime in February. We know it was delayed. Are we still collecting motor vehicle taxes
Yes.
at this time?
Yes,
When will that cease?
when the county, when the state DMV turns it off on their end.
How much longer?
That's not up to me. That's up to the state. I have no clue. No clue.
I think they have, because we haven't received a payment for motor vehicle tax in the last 2 months. But we do have like a $500,000 surplus, because again, when we adopted the 2022 budget, we put an estimate of when we thought it would
Correct.
end. And I know we talked about this, and we do have about a $500,000 surplus in motor vehicle tax, but it doesn't appear like we've gotten anything since June.
Can we make that as an action item, Mr. Chairman? Determine the status of the Rockland County motor vehicle tax. Whether-
If I may, you might want to contact state DMV to see if there's something lingering on their end, because it's a state matter, not a,
Who has regular communications with the state DMV?
because the state collects the tax for us and sends it down to us. It's on sales tax. I can tell you the last time we've received a payment on our ledger, but I can't tell you what state DMV could send us a check tomorrow. I have no idea.
Can we check?
I mean, when I check and when I'm reporting to all of you on sales tax, mortgage tax, motor vehicle tax, it's based on what's in PeopleSoft, and that is what is inputted by the finance department. So if they input information, I see it.
Can we check with DMV what the holdup is? I think that was
Yeah, I don't want Rockland County residents paying any more Rockland County motor vehicles taxes. We implemented the tax when the county was in financial straits. We're not in financial straits any longer. I don't want to overtax people. We eliminated it in the budget. And in June, we were still collecting it, which I didn't understand at all.
Okay,
So I
so,
want to make sure that's the case. And I want this to be top of mind for people on this legislature when we're talking about the energy sales tax, because that's why I wanted it done this year, so that it wasn't one of those things that gets strung out again next year to build a bigger surplus than the one we already have.
Nicole, can you call DMV and find out, what are we finding out? A, the status of the motor vehicle grant.
I believe the local law that was passed by this body was filed with the New York Secretary of State. No, I think it was a while ago, but I know that there's a delay, which is why we put a small amount of motor vehicle tax in the budget. There was a small amount in there, but we've already exceeded above and beyond that.
So
But I will call them tomorrow.
You're gonna call them and find out, A, the status of the taxes. Okay? And B, if they're still collecting it, why haven't they not given us a payment? Well, the last payment we got, she sees in People's.
Yeah.
right?
I don't know if there's anything lingering coming from the state, because the state's got they have personnel issues, if I may, on that, just as a side note. You had asked about the budget. Well, we just found out two things. The state controller's office is extremely slow in producing a retirement bill for next year. The Empire Plan, as we experienced the last several years.
Every year.
Since COVID, it's gotten worse. If you try calling up at the state, God bless you, good luck, because it's a black hole. So we called the controller's office. God only knows when we're going to get a retirement bill. The Empire Plan has announced today that it's sometime in October or November, and I find that even optimistic on their end. So just,
Mostly what I want to know is that when people go to register a car, they're not paying a tax to Rockland County because we abolished it. That's pretty much the action. Hey, Stephen, and if I sound cranky, I'm not cranky at you, I'm just cranky.
and if I, no, it's okay. I'm used to it. I'm used to it.
Okay, the bottom line is legislative grant.
And he has every right.
Your point is that we eliminated that tax. It appears that the state is not paying for us.
We don't want them to pay us.
Right. Now, do we know if they're
collected.
You know if it's being collected?
I don't know. That's the issue here. I want them to stop collecting it. I don't want them to send us any more checks. I want them to
So,
stop collecting.
Nicole-
I do. I
This
do.
is an-
Whatever they collect.
So this is an action item for Nicole. Nicole is gonna look into this. She'll either get an answer or she won't. And she'll follow, and she'll update us. Now, this is kind of leading us into the budget review process, which is good. And this is gonna be the conversations we're gonna have. The energy tax is another good example. It should have been gone a long time ago. There was a provision in it to have it expired once the deficit is gone.
No, the
And-
deficit bonds, not the deficit bond.
The deficit bond.
We got 2 more years.
Okay.
Okay. So we disagree fundamentally on the conservative approach we're taking in the
Look.
budget. I know Mr. Grant believes that.
We're almost at a point where we're going to have double in surplus than we had a deficit. And
Good, because you know what? We just had a ratings call with Moody's and S&P, and I'm assuming you all got the report. And if you haven't, there's a large section in there that our reserves are fundamentally too low. When I've been joking, and this body has asked, and even at the county exec's office, what's a satisfactory number? I keep telling everybody, more. The reason more, okay, you can smirk, that's okay. Okay, we fundamentally disagree. I want to be AAA. There are others who are satisfied with where we are. I'm not, because, if I may.
you're,
No, because more is better, because if everyone knows, yes, because inflation's coming. Okay, excuse me, it's here. A recession is right around the corner, if not with us.
you have to be wired in a way to have more reserves and the ratings and all of that. As elected
You
officials,
understand that? We're on
No,
the
no.
contrary plane here.
as
It's okay.
elected
It's-
officials, we have to be wired in a little bit of a different way.
I
And that
respect
is
that and understand that.
exactly for the same reason. Inflation is coming,
Right.
recession is here. People just can't pay that much taxes.
And I don't want them to pay more in property tax. That's
There's
why
gotta
we've
be a
cre-
balance.
Well, that's why we've created the fund balance, so that taxes, it's like a tax stabilization fund.
Okay.
The property tax doesn't need to rise or decrease for another 10 years if we play our cards right.
Okay, what are we doing, the salary savings? Are we done with that discussion? Good. Any other? No, okay, good. So,
And Mr. Grant, I don't mean to be,
no, we're good, we're all good. It's all good. And now we're gonna complete the rest of the agenda. Steve, I really appreciate, thank you for coming and giving us the information. We all know that, the job market for some reason is tight. You know, you're talking about a recession, inflation and all of that, you would think otherwise, but it is what it is. And, the government has to function and we gotta provide whatever we need to provide. Okay, so now we're gonna continue on, if you can turn to. So we have another discussion item which we're postponing, as mentioned before. That's the updating security in all county buildings and properties. There was one discussion item of it, some of it was done. And we're gonna have that and we're gonna move that over to the next committee meeting. Okay, now we're gonna go to,
7-3.
no, what is the one that's being moved? 7-2 we did. I think we're gonna go back. No one is here for 7-1, right? So we're gonna go back and we're gonna do the regular programming. Okay, so Mr. Soskin is out of the room. Is Mr. Soskin here? Oh, Mr. Soskin is here. Okay, but Legislator Hood was given excuse for, excuse absence. And Jobson is also here. They're all here. I see them. Okay, good. Item number 1-1, all the way through item number 1 dash dash 17. So item 1-1, all the way through item number 1-17, which was already discussed and extensively reviewed at the Planning and Public Works Committee. Therefore, we're going to take it in one, and it's going to be moved by Legislator Yeager, who's the chair of the Planning Public Works Committee, seconded by Legislator Jobson. Any discussions? Seeing there is none, I'll call the motion. What was it?
Aye.
No. You want to wait for? What was it? No, we have a quorum. We don't want him. We don't want.
The room.
Okay, he's being excused. Yes, done. Okay, all those in favor say aye. Opposed, the motion carries unanimously. You know, that's a big, good excuse. Okay, item number, now we're gonna do the next item. Item number 2-1, which I was here, it was extensively discussed all the way through item number 2-5. Moved by Legislator Jobson, seconded by Legislator Cornell. Any discussion? Seeing there is none, I'll call the motion. All those in favor say aye. Opposed, the motion carries unanimously. We'll move on to item number 3. Item number 3-1, all the way through item 3-6. Moved by Earl, seconded by Legislator Wolf. Any discussion? Seeing there is none, I'll call the motion. All those in favor say aye. Opposed, the motion carries unanimously. Item number 7-1, referral number 9534, appropriating the sum of $1,250 to the From Maxwell DeBon Post 859 in Suffern, New York for patriotic observances in 2022, moved by Legislator Wolf, seconded by Legislator Cornell. Any discussion? Seeing there is none, I'll call the motion. All those in favor say aye. Opposed, the motion carries unanimously. I'll entertain a motion to adjourn, moved by Legislator Hofstein, seconded by Legislator Yeager. Any discussion? Seeing there is none, I'll call the motion. All those in favor say aye. Opposed, the motion carries unanimously. Well, so I think we still did good. We finished the meeting at 8:05 with one very extensive discussion item. We're going to go into the budget review sessions. Hopefully, people will attend.